With a series of studies showing the effectiveness of natural immunity, is it time for us to redefine the term fully vaccinated? Today we're talking about natural immunity. This still has to be discussed with a great deal of caution, and I want to make very, very clear to you indeed that I have no opinion at all about what you should do for your health and the health of your family. This is Eric Topol, founder and director of the Scripps Research Translational Institute. The US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has failed to recognize that people with confirmed COVID infections, also known as natural immunity, have achieved some level of protection against subsequent infections and severe disease. This has unnecessarily fueled divisiveness, particularly when vaccines are mandated without acknowledgement that prior COVID is an alternate path, albeit with some limitations, for protection of the individual and helping to build the population's immunity wall. While there has been a body of data supporting a robust immune response to COVID infections, that evidence has recently been substantially bolstered. In the very large trial on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine single shot compared with placebo, among over 2,000 participants with prior infections as documented by positive antibody status, their protection against moderate or severe disease was 90%. That's much higher than the vaccine efficacy of 56%. Yet the CDC recognises two-shot of this vaccine as fully vaccinated, but ignores these data and many other proof points of natural immunity protection. In a recent CDC report for COVID in California that included the Delta wave, the cumulative hospitalization rate for the vaccinated was 0.7% among vaccinated and 0.3% unvaccinated with prior infection. Notably, a 10-fold lower risk of subsequent infection was found in the people with natural immunity compared with those vaccinated in the Cleveland Clinic Health System study of over 52,000 employees. These reports convey a high level of protection of natural immunity, at times comparable to two-shots vaccines. Multiple studies following people at least 15 months out from COVID infections have shown persistent antibody levels and memory B cells. Reinfections among those with natural immunity throughout the pandemic until the recent Omicron wave have been very low, less than 1%. A United Kingdom study of about 9,000 people with prior infections demonstrated higher than 90% protection against subsequent infections, even among those who had COVID more than 18 months previously. A new report of nearly 150,000 people with COVID infections in Israel, with about half vaccinated compared to the others left unvaccinated, there was an 82% lower risk of reinfection for people aged 16 to 64 years and 60% for age 65 or older. There was no difference for the protection with more than one dose of vaccine. The same was found in another study. Both of these were performed during the Delta wave, but now we have data with Omicron, the strain of the virus with the most substantial evasion of our immune system. Substantiating that, in Qatar, while the protection of natural immunity was about 90% for previous alpha, beta and gamma variants, it dropped to 56% for Omicron. In the United Kingdom, the risk of reinfection for people with prior COVID spiked to a level 16-fold what had been seen previously. Yet an Omicron wave study from Cleveland Clinic in about 8,000 people with natural immunity, one shot of vaccine, markedly reduced the risk of infection, and 2 or 3 shots had no incremental protective benefit. That same finding was consistent in the Israel and UK studies. One shot did the trick, no added protection from 2 or 3 shots. If what this guy is saying is true, that one shot of natural immunity is for the best, and yet in most cases people were having 2 shots or 3 shots, does that make you wonder about the power of the pharmaceutical lobby? Because I can tell you who would benefit from there being 2 shots and 3 shots if you're charged by the shot. Big Pharma. Which brings us to hybrid immunity. It would be reckless to ever recommend someone get purposely infected with COVID. However, for those who have sustained an infection, their immune response was directed to the whole virus, whereas our vaccines are specific to the spike protein. The result of combining different immune responses is synergy, more than additive, a powerful and durable protection, 25 to 100 times more antibody response, and broader against variants of the virus. Note that we do not have the same evidence for the opposite order, vaccination prior to breakthrough infections. It is now clearly overdue for the United States and the CDC to acknowledge natural immunity as a partial path to protection, as has been previously done in several countries. If you want to sign up to our mailing list, you can do it with one click there. Most importantly of all, stay free.